Hi you guys, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and learn about tape diagrams again today. This will be tape diagrams lesson 3. Like we did last time, make sure you get a piece of paper out, write your name, the date, either myself or Miss Warren, and what period you have us. Remember, you're going to take a picture of your work and then submit it through our Google Classroom. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Tape diagrams lesson 3. It says, the Easter Bunny paid $2.59 for 3.5 pounds of jelly beans. What is the unit rate for the jelly beans? So we know that this question is asking us to find unit rate, okay? We know that we need to find unit rate. And in order to do that, we need to understand or know what numbers are being used, okay? So we know that the Easter Bunny paid $2.59 total for 3.5 pounds of jelly beans. We want to figure out unit rate. So in order to figure out the unit rate, that means we want to find out how much money is 1 pound. So 1 pound of jelly beans equals how much? Okay? In order to solve this, we can use tape diagram, okay? We draw it out like this. We know that this whole thing right here is $2.59. That is how much the Easter Bunny paid for 3.5 pounds, okay? So we're gonna break this up into 3.5 sections, okay? This area right here represents 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, and a half pound, 3.5 pounds. He paid $2.59. So how we can do this is we need to divide, okay? We have these sections right here. We need to divide to find out what is the worth of just 1 pound, okay? Take the $2.59, but when we're doing division, you can actually take that decimal away, and we're going to divide that by 35 or 3.5. But remember, we don't have to use that decimal. So we're going to act like this number is 35, not 3.5, and we need to figure out how many times does this go into this number, okay? What you can do in order to figure this out is trial and error. You can take a number and say, hey, 35 times 5. Go ahead and do that. 35 times 5. Okay, 5 times 5 is 25. Bring the 2 up here. 5 times 3 is 15. 16, 17, 175. It's kind of close to there, but I think there's another number that we can multiply by 35 to get a little bit closer to 259. So I'm going to try, let's try 7. We'll go up 2. So if I do 35, whoa, that's a terrible 5. My goodness. If I do 35 times 7, let's see. I have 7 times 5 is 35. Bring the 3 up here. 7 times 1 is 21 plus 3 is 24. So 245. I think that's closest to it because, again, we're multiplying by 35. And if we add 35 to that, it's going to be more than this number. So let's go ahead and put our 7 up here. And we need to subtract 245. Okay, let's see what we're end up with. 9 minus 5 is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. And 2 minus 2 is 0, okay? Remember, when we need to add numbers, we can go ahead and just annex. So we're going to add a 0, bring that down because 35 can't go into 14, but it can go into 140. So let's go ahead and see. We have 140, 35. Let's go ahead and try, 4. Let's try 4. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus 2 is 14. Ooh, that went in perfectly. So 140, I'm gonna bring the 4 up here. And we're gonna go ahead and subtract 140 from 140, okay? We end up with zeros because it goes in evenly. And remember, we had to move the decimal over 2 times. Our answer is going to be 74, okay? So 1 pound of jelly beans equals 74 cents. Awesome. We found our unit rate. However, we're not done yet. So each one of these boxes is 74 cents. 74 cents. Okay? If we add all these together, we end up with, so 74 times 3. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 7 is 21 plus 1 is 2. We end up with $2.22. Does that equal this right here? No, it does not. This number and that number do not match. But wait, we have this half. Remember, it was 3.5 pounds. So we need to figure out what this one is. This is a whole. This is a half. So the easiest way to figure out what the value is for the half is divide 74 by 2. If you divide 74 by 2, you end up with 37 cents, okay? So we have our unit rate, which is 74 cents a pound per jelly beans, per 1 pound of jelly beans. And then we have 37 cents, which is a half pound of jelly beans. If we add 1 pound plus 2 pounds plus 3 pounds plus 3.5 pounds of jelly beans, we will end up with, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. 222, remember, was these 3 together, plus this 37 cents. We should end up with our total, 259, and that matches right here. This is how you solve your unit rate. All right, so question number 2 asks, I made some bread. The recipe used buttermilk. It comes in a 32-ounce carton. I used 75% of the carton for my recipe. How many fluid ounces did I use for the recipe? Okay, so you guys know that I used bread and I needed to use buttermilk, but the buttermilk comes in a 32-ounce bottle. In my recipe, I don't need to use 32 ounces. I only needed to use 75% of the carton. So let's go ahead and use our tape diagram to figure this out. When I look at this tape diagram, it kind of reminds me of fractions. And we covered fractions in our class. So remember, the first one is 25%. The second one would be 50%. This one would be 75%. And the last one would be 100%. Okay? So looking at this tape diagram, 100% would equal 32 ounces, okay? We know 100% is 32 ounces, but I didn't use all 100%. I stopped right here at 75%. So I can use this in a fraction. I used 1, 2, and 3/4, right? So I can write it as 3/4 of 32 ounces. Okay, so I use 3/4 of 32 ounces. Another way I can write this is like this. If I know that 3/4 equals 4/4 would be 32 ounces, right? But I want to figure out what goes right here. So 4 goes in to 32 how many times? 4 times 5? Nope, that's 20. 4 times 7? Nope, that's 28. 4 times 8 is 32. And what we do to the bottom, we must do to the top. So now I need to multiply 3 times 8 to figure out that 3 times 8 is 24. Okay? So I know that 3/4 would be 24 ounces. I used 24 ounces for my recipe. All right, so number 3 says, my dog Kipling says he wants to get in shape for long walks. The vet says he needs 60 grams of protein for his size. If 1 cup is 25% of his protein, how many grams of protein are in 1 cup of dog food? Okay? So I already drew out the tape diagram for us. This is just like question 2. So think of 4 parts. We're going to split it in 4 parts. We have 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100. Remember, 100 represents the total amount of grams he needs for protein, okay? So 100% is 60 grams, right? He needs 60 grams of protein. But we are only going to focus on 25, which is 1/4, okay? So 1/4 of 60. 1/4 of 60 is written out like this. 1/4 equals 60. Okay? Because we know that 4/4 is 100%, and we know that 60 is how many grams he needs. That's the whole number. So we need to figure out 4 goes into 60 how many times. One way you can figure that out is by dividing 60 by 4. If you divide 60 by 4, we can actually do it right here pretty quickly. 4 goes into 6 1 time. We got 2 left over. We're going to bring that 0 down. 4 goes into 25 times, okay? So 4, I'm going to write it like this, times 15 equals 60. So remember the rule. What you do to the bottom, you always have to do to the top, or vice versa. So we know that we need to multiply 15 to the top. So 1 times 15 is easy, 15. So 25% of his protein is 15 grams. 50% would be half of 60, which is 30. 75% would be 45. And 100 is 60. If we know that 25% is 1 cup, we can take it a step further and we can say he's going to need 4 cups of protein, or 4 cups of dog food.